we believe that all success actually comes from our Creator. Right?
Well, yes.
We do the work. We have to do the work. But ultimately, that success of whatever you will want to do, like you said, if you want to do something, you can do it. But we got to put our trust in God, and then He makes the result happen.
Right.
So what's the secret? As two guys in their 30s, what were you doing?
You can't smoke all the cigarettes. Okay.
Got it. No cigarettes.
Yeah, we got that down.
Okay. You can't drink all the liquor. Okay?
We don't drink at all. So
I believe everything happens, like you said, from the Creator.
yes.
You just wake up in the morning, don't know what you're gonna do. You might have in mind what you're gonna do, but He might change it.
والقرآن المجيد بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب.
Getting in the car, heading.
In 2.5 miles, turn left on South Elmhurst Road.
So you said you were in film, videography.
Yes, for ABC News.
ABC News here in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Okay,
Work
like the
for
local news.
Local news, WLS, and also work for the national news, ABC, out of New York.
Okay. Awesome, man. And you did that for a couple years?
No, 35.
35 years.
35
man.
years. 35 years.
So you probably got your retirement with them and everything.
Yeah, it's they not gonna make me go to Europe every week, but I can eat every week.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Travel extensive every state in the U.S.
Really,
Every state in the U.S. except 2, Alaska and Hawaii.
Okay, all the contiguous states.
Yes, everything is. Traveled with 4 presidents. First president was President Reagan.
Oh wow.
Was in Brazil with President Reagan in the 80s.
Was it like a long trip?
No, it was. He went down to give give money to the Brazil. At that time, Brazil was kind of hurting.
Right.
Give some money, like a goodwill tour. We was down there for like 2 days.
Okay, well, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
But you got to talk and ask him questions, or you're just filming for another person interviews?
No. You have a pool crew, and
sound guy, camera guy.
Yeah, right, and lighting guy, right. And during that time, it was like when you see something on TV and you turn to one channel, and you see the same thing that you saw on the channel before. It was done by a pool crew, and on each president trip, there's always one station as a pool crew. They have to divide to give the tape to everybody because they only allow one crew in.
Does it usually swap around?
The crew, yeah.
Like okay, ABC, it's your turn this week.
Right.
Next week, NBC.
Right. CNN,
Yeah.
It goes, rotates. And you can't be selfish with the video. You gotta share it because everybody can't go in the room if he's having a conference with somebody.
So you said you traveled to all 50 states.
Yes.
What's your? 48 of them, right?
Right.
What's your favorite one outside of Chicago? You can't say Illinois. You can't say Illinois.
No. Well, really, I love California. I think I love it because of the weather.
Okay.
But Miami, Florida is my second home.
All right.
Yeah. But every state, I always tell, every state has something. I don't care, North Dakota, South Dakota, you go to places like that, Montana, every state has something. And usually this time of year, whatever festival goes on in that state, that's what it is. For instance, you go to Montana, on the weekends they have a lot of rodeos. You You go to New Mexico, their big thing is the balloon race. So,
what's the big thing here in Illinois?
well, the air show.
Okay.
The air show is real big, but there's so much go on in Illinois. I mean, you know, Illinois is, especially Chicago, is a tourist town. They live on tourism. But there's always some concert going on. I guess this weekend, past weekend, but you know, Beyonce was here.
There's always something going on.
Always something going on.
So since you've traveled so much and you've been on camera for 30, behind the camera for 35 years.
Yeah.
All right. So can you tell us like some of the craziest things you actually were witness to? Like you were filming.
Well.
Some of like most outrageous or craziest or like oh man, like this
dangerous. I mean, I was
dangerous. Yeah.
I was in Argentina during the Falkland crisis. You remember the Falkland?
Can you tell us what the Falkland crisis is?
Yeah,
exactly?
it was the British came down to take over the Falklands from the Argentines. It was a war. And there was an island called the Falklands, and the British came down and decided they wanted it, and they took it back. Also covered a white supremacy camp, which was, I would say, in Arkansas.
Oh man!
We followed one of the white supremacists had shot the FBI guy, and
shot an FBI guy, you said?
Yeah, in North Dakota or South Dakota. I don't know which one it was, but we trailed him to a camp. We thought he was there, so we went to see if he was there. One of the things that I would say now, I don't know if I would do it, but did it and was lucky enough to get out. Was on an airplane mishap in Brazil. Plane was too heavy. We had ABC, CBS, NBC on the plane with all the equipment, and the plane on takeoff tore off all the landing gear. So on one side, the landing gear was gone. The other one was just hanging
on by a thread.
Yeah. We flew around for an hour and a half, dumping fuel in the ocean.
Oh my God!
And
that must have been the most horrifying thing.
Well, I would tell you now, it is something that your life is right in front of your face. There's nothing that you would want to have but to live. It's one of the things that it makes you realize that if somebody would hand you $1 million, you would say, keep it, I want to live, and you take the $1 million. Another thing it does, it makes you think, gee, you know, I didn't call so-and-so. I didn't see so-and-so. I didn't call my best buddy back, because it's right in your face. You don't know. You fly around an hour and a half, and the captain finally comes on and says, "Yeah, we out of fuel now. We got to go."
Oh my God!
So they had foam on the foam and stretches and dogs and everything as the plane approached the runway.
How was that landing?
Ah, man, it landed almost on a belly foot, because they had foam on it, and it went probably 200 feet into a bank, like a wall. It was dirt. We were very fortunate. Only a couple folks got hurt really bad.
But you came out pretty good?
Oh yeah. And I can tell you this, you know, all the safety stuff they go on when you're in a plane, stewardess come up, well, they went through it, but when the plane went down, they froze.
They froze.
They froze. It was one of the camera guys that got the door and let it down. pushed it out for the slide.
Wow.
And it's really real hairy. I mean, it flies. It's on my mind all the time, really. Something like that happens.
Absolutely.
You know? And I still fly a lot, but I try to go to sleep now on takeoff. I'll go to sleep on takeoff because I don't want to.
So you're talking about your life flashing before your eyes, and those moments that you really don't know what's next, right?
You don't know what's next, right?
It's kind of that's interesting because our content, we're Muslim, we're both Muslim.
Okay.
He's the Muslim Cowboy, right?
Okay.
You can tell.
Yeah, I see.
Very clearly. And me, for example, I run a non-profit organization, doing offering services for blind people, right?
Okay.
Because I'm blind, right? So we find our niche.
Yeah,
and
right.
we run with it, right? So
Right.
So within your, so of course, us being Muslim, we're practicing Muslims, and death is something that we think about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we think about a lot. So just in kind of that vein, just kind of switching off to that topic of like Islam.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Muslim countries? What are your interactions with Muslims?
No. Well, I know you've heard of Farrakhan, right?
Yeah.
Well, I listened to him. I'm telling you, it's very how I got hooked up with Farrakhan. Farrakhan was having a speech, and a lot of the guys didn't want to go to pick up the tape.
Yeah.
So I was chosen to go pick up the tape. So I go and I pick up the tape. I go and ask for the tape. They're like, hey, no. You can't get the tape until it's all over. So you have to stay inside here and listen to the speech. And this was in the 70s, man. And I fell in with Farrakhan ever since. And so that's my thing with Muslim. I mean, there's a mosque in Chicago that I have taken my grandson over there to play basketball. They have a nice gym. But some of the stuff that your religious go is, I think, is real deep.
Yeah.
But what happened is that and you work in the news, you work with everybody. I mean, you don't care what religion they are, But I feel that the general public don't want to accept nobody. Some don't want to accept nobody else's religion or your beliefs or whatever.
Yeah.
They're so tied up on their own beliefs. And I always said, hey, why should you not believe or want to believe what somebody else believes? If you don't, just leave it alone. Don't criticize it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we have a tendency to criticize things that we don't like. Very sad. Very sad.
It's very interesting because you mentioned Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Not many people know like the difference between the Nation of Islam and Islam.
Right.
Like, are you familiar that there's an actual difference between them?
No, Elijah was which one was it? Did you?
So like
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, like Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Right. And so Elijah Muhammad and Farid, I think is Fariddin Muhammad, I think his name was. The person that was running it before Elijah.
Right.
So they were running the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
Right? So the Nation of Islam, what it is, as compared to Islam, right? What it is it's like a black nationalist movement, right?
Okay.
But it's a little further than that, right? It's not just we're trying to better the life of the black people in America, right? It has a racist view as well. Like, black man's the best, white man's the devil. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Whereas in Islam, like Islam,
Okay.
right? Which
Malcolm X.
Yeah, which Malcolm actually started in the Nation of Islam, Nation of Islam, and then he went to Hajj. And this is where the difference really comes in.
Okay.
He went to Hajj and he wrote to his wife Betty, and he said to her, he said, "I shared a cup with a man with the bluest of eyes and the blondest of hair and the whitest of skin, and he called me brother." You know?
Okay.
So Islam doesn't have a race component to it.
Okay.
You feel me? As Muslims, like, you know, this is a good old boy from Texas. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm Palestinian.
Okay.
But I talk to this, like, he is my brother.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So this race, so not only do we not look at each other in race, at least we shouldn't, right? The Islamic view of things. But the entirety of the Muslim history is all of our history.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So as a Palestinian, for example, not only do I inherit all the Arab history, but I inherit the history of the Turks.
Okay.
The history of the African kingdoms. You know?
Okay.
Because all of this was the history of Spain, Al-Andalus, right? When the Muslims ruled Spain. Because all of this is under the banner of Islam.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I don't look at you and judge you like, oh, you're this color of skin and all that.
Right.
Right? I'm like, okay, is this person a Muslim? If this person's a Muslim, he's my brother in Islam.
Okay.
Right? If he's not a Muslim, then we try to understand each other, right? Because all religions, like Christians and Jews, whenever Muslims ruled lands, this is where you have the most cohesive community.
Okay.
You know, anytime in Europe, back in medieval times in Europe, you know, there was a lot of anti-Jewish sentiment back then.
Okay.
So anytime there'd be a whole big rally against Jews, the Jews would go to the lands of the Muslims.
Okay.
Because within them, you know, there's rights. There's everyone has a right to coexist. You know, Islam is not. It's a religion of, you know, we proselytize, meaning like we give out the message, but we're not here to force anybody into the message.
Right.
You know, and as compared to like I said, the nation was like, no, if you're not black, you're not it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of like the extreme opposite of white supremacy.
Okay. All right.
You know, which you can kind of understand where that thought comes from, because when you push a people so far,
right,
you're gonna get the extreme.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I was one question over there. Why do Israel always pick it on Palestinians?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You were in the news, man. I'm assuming.
But I could never, do you think that you are better? Do you think that they shouldn't have the same rights that you have?
Yeah, well, this is what it is, right? So it goes back to, it really goes back to the Holocaust.
Okay.
And the Belfort Doctrine, right? So what happened was once the Holocaust was really going on, and even before the Holocaust, there was immigration of Jews from Europe going into that area of Palestine. Okay. Right? Now, after World War I, the Ottoman Empire fell, and the Brits and the French, they took over that land. You know, the Palestine, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. Right? Brits took over Palestine and Jordan. French took over Lebanon and Syria. Okay. So the Brits were starting to sign off on independence treaties with each of these lands. So Jordan will be independent. They have their king. Same thing with Syria. Same thing with Lebanon. You know, they have their ruling parties. Right. And they were going to do the same thing with Palestine. But at the same time, there's the issue of Zionism started, right? And this actually started before World War I, Zionism, the concept of Zionism, and that being that the Jewish people deserve a homeland of their own. Okay. Right? And that homeland has to be that land of, that holy area right there, which we call Palestine, has to be there because that's their birthright as Jews. Right? Okay. Now, Now, in reality, a lot of times they claim it to be a right of heritage. Oh, well, you know, Jews lived here thousands of years ago. But in reality, these Jews, they're European Jews. They have no relation to the Jews that lived during the time of, you know, the children of Israel and all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
The completely different lineage. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, what happened is the Holocaust was going down. During that, a lot of Jewish immigration was coming to that land, and the Brits were kind of double dealing, right?
Okay.
They were dealing with the Palestinians and the Arabs, right? Because the whole reason why the Arabs supported the Brits in World War I is because they promised to give all of these lands independence, right? This was part of their promise, right? But at the same time, they were working with Jewish coalitions and saying, yo, no, we're going to give you guys a homeland, right? So after World War II, the UN was formed, and one of the first things the UN did, right, with the US and the UK, is they made that land of Palestine, right? They came up with the idea of splitting it into two lands, right? Palestine and Israel. Now, the one big issue with that is there's people living on that land that you called Israel, right? They're living there. They're living there. They have their whole lives there. So what happened was the Palestinians were like, nah, man, we're not playing this, right? Like, why would you do that? And then the Arab countries are like, we agreed, you know. So all this happened, wars, fights, you know, and you know, Israel had the might of the U.S. and the UK behind them. Right. So it's funny because everyone's like, oh, the 6-Day War, Israel, defeated all these Arab countries. Like, yeah, but you missed the key points that they had the might of the U.S. and the UK military behind them, right? So once they won those wars, those battles, they took pretty much, vast majority of the land, right? And now, because U.S. and the UK are so entrenched in it, right? And Canada and extension and European and extension, they're so entrenched into it, and the lobby from Israel is so strong. That Israeli lobby is very strong. There's unwavering support for Israel, right? Unwavering support. They can, it's very much so an apartheid regime. Palestinians and Israelis have different color license plates. So to let you know that this car is a Palestinian car, they can't go through these streets. They can't go through these territories. They have to go through these checkpoints. And even though it is very obviously discriminatory, very obviously a regime of apartheid, right? Because that Israeli lobby is so strong, no politician, they're all afraid to say anything.
They're very afraid.
They're afraid of saying anything.
Yeah, and anytime that something happened, their mouth was closed.
Oh yeah. Well, they report it as if it's two even sides.
Yeah.
Whereas in contrast, if you look at Ukraine and Russia, they will never call it as two even sides. Never, ever. They will. Russia is always the aggressor. Ukraine is always the oppressed. Right. But what's the difference? Difference is, man, is they don't like Russia. They love Israel. That's what it is. So people are oppressed, the people are stepped on, Muslim and Christians, being Palestinian. And it's, nobody bats an eye, man.
I always thought there was a big racism, thing.
And really, you want to talk about, we were talking about white supremacy. These are European Jews. You know what I mean? They're Europeans. None of them were born there. Recently, of course, they were born there, but like the people that came there in the 40s and the 50s and the late 30s, they're all European. But you think anyone ever look at that as white supremacists? Absolutely not.
In 750 feet.
So it's it's layers on layers, bro. Layers on layers.
I think it's really more something that y'all have a lot more to talk about, because me personally, I came from a very racist family, right?
And what's your nationality?
I mean, my family's been in Texas since the 1600s.
Okay.
Our family, basically, I mean,
His nationality's Texan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
oil.
we are, you know, Cornelius Smith was my ancestor. They were from the first 300 settlers. We've been in Texas since 1605.
Okay.
Like that's like 170 something years before the foundation of the United States of America, right?
Right. Because really, that territory is the same as California. You know, it belongs to Mexico. Yeah.
And so, you know, so I mean, I experienced it. My family and the churches that we went to, yeah, they were very, you know, pro-Israeli, you know, everything is white. White is good. God is white. Jesus is white. You know, it was bad, and I'm really grateful that Allah saved me from that, because I saw the wrongness that it had, because
But you know, we
can't control how we're born, right? We can only control the choices that we make.
Live. Right.
How we live and the choices we make.
Exactly. Well, you know, being an African American guy, you know, you go through and you see it. You you shake your head. You're like, hey, you know, this is not right. We always say there's two different rules, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they change the rules when they feel like it.
No, 100%. But at the same, you know what? This is the sad truth. I don't know how long we got before
We got 16 minutes.
16 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So like you said, you're African American, right? Born and raised here in Illinois.
No, in Arkansas.
In Arkansas.
But I came here when I was like 12.
Okay, so you came here at a young age.
Yeah.
But see, you made a career, you know.
Yeah.
You came out here, you worked hard.
Yeah.
You made it. And yeah, of course you had extra obstacles. Like me, you know, I'm blind.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm legally blind, there's so many extra things I have to jump over hoops and things like that.
Right,
but
right.
we get there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the issue is today, and I think this goes both for, whether it be for a lot, African Americans here in the country or even disabled people.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's this culture of excuses. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, I'm constantly being held down because of this and that.
But you got to, when you know that, then you should try harder.
Yeah.
To overcome that. But it's rough. I mean, it's rough because everything, when things are subjective, you don't get a fair shake.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's got to be,
has to be objective.
Yes.
Based on what it really is as compared to what you want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is what I'm saying, right? But and this is the thing, right? Like, I agree that there is a certain level of built-in institutionalized like racism and things like that. I agree 100%. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, right? We can only use that as an excuse for how long?
No, you can't.
Right?
You can't. You can't keep beating it because you see it's not going to change. So
exactly. You got to do something about it. And I'm sorry, doing something about it ain't marching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It ain't holding up signs. Because you know what holding up sign gonna do? Nothing for you.
Nothing.
It ain't gonna put food in your mouth. It's not gonna put a roof over your head.
No.
It's not gonna take care of your kids.
No.
You know what I mean?
Buy you a house?
No, it's not gonna buy you a house. No. And unfortunately, us being Muslim, and I don't know about you, man. I don't know if but us, we have very traditional values as far as the family, right? The wife, children, raising our kids within our faith, within our traditions, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, it seems like there's like a concerted effort to keep that away from like the underprivileged communities here.
Always.
Right? Like, single mother households are running rampant, man. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But
you need that full spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You guys married?
Yeah, we both have wives and children.
Okay.
God blessed us with those. Thank God. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not married, but I have a daughter.
Okay.
I used to be married. I married at one time.
How's your daughter?
How old is she?
Yeah.
51.
51.
God bless. How old are you?
I thought maybe you was like 55.
Yeah.
You did, huh? Oh, no, brother.
What's the saying? Black don't crack, right?
Black don't crack, yeah. I'm going to give you a couple guesses. So, how would you think I am?
Maybe.
I mean, 70 at least, right?
I I'll give you one more guess. Right?
Okay, I did 70. You do it. You go for
I
it.
don't want to raise. I don't want to raise it.
Well, hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. You know.
I know that is good. That's amazing. I'd say 72.
79.
79.
79.
Man.
Wow.
You sound good.
Yeah,
look
here.
good. You got that spirit about you.
Yeah, and you know my reflexes is good. I'm really blessed, man. I mean, because I know guys that are 79, they don't get around too good. They got bad legs. They got bad everything.
So what's the secret? You know, as two guys in their 30s, you know, what were you doing? You know, what do you do to stay on point?
Well, first of all, you can't smoke all the cigarettes. Okay.
Got it. No cigarettes.
Yeah, we got that down.
Okay, you can't drink all the liquor. Okay?
We don't drink at all. So there you go. We got that down. All right, we're 2 up. That's good.
That's it. Right. And you have to eat accordingly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not too much of food that's not good for you. Okay. Right now, in your 30s, you can eat anything and then knock it right off. But if you eat food that's really not good for you, in a long run, that food will be telling your body inside, you know, they've been feeding me the wrong thing. You know, and I can't handle it no longer. But your body kicks off that when you're young.
Yeah.
But as you get older, that stuff starts to coming back on you. So you have to be very, very careful of your intake, because what you put in your body has an effect.
Yeah.
On
that's
it.
true.
Okay.
So are you so did you ever like go to any specific diet, or you just kind of balancing it out?
I try to balance it out. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. Yeah.
That's the key. You know, you just don't overdo anything. Everything in moderation.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, every once in a while you could splurge. You know what I mean? I don't say maybe liquor is not bad for you, but you don't try to sit and drink all the liquor you have there today. You know, you don't leave until all of it's gone. You know? Or every time somebody offers you a drink, you don't have to take it. You know, so I don't even drink socially. I mean, I've tried, you know, and then I always say, just pour me a little bit, and I leave the little bit. It's a taste. But when I was in the military, I drank a little bit. But and a lot of it, I think, comes from genes. If you got pretty good genes, man, if you don't shut up. Yeah, you know.
City traffic, right?
Yeah, well, the thing of it is that why do you blow on somebody when you're driving the speed limit?
Yeah.
And you're going, they got speed traps along. I don't know if you know that, but we just passed one.
Yep.
You know, these speed traps. And so that's the only thing I can tell you.
You can impart.
And another thing is that you have to treat, I always believe, and I want to treat you like I want to be treated, okay?
Absolutely.
Because that works with your body. If you're an evil person, that will work on your body because you're always thinking negative. You got to think positive. You got everything, and everything has a positive end to it if you look at it.
Of course, yeah.
And it can be as negative if you make it.
Yeah, you know, it's there's two things I want to just kind of share with you.
Yeah.
So first, you're like, you know, you got to treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Right.
You know, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that, you know, he was talking to his, you know, to the companions. He was saying that you do not believe, meaning like you're not a believer unless you love for your brother what you love for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So that's literally like, you know, you approach people, you treat people,
right.
You want them to have the same access that you have.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
You approach them as if you want to be treated in that same exact way.
Right.
And the second thing was you're saying like with everything there's a positive spin. Another thing that the Prophet ﷺ said was, he said wondrous is the condition of the believer, right? He's like it's amazing. It's something you got to ponder over. He's like whenever something good happens to him, right? He is grateful, right? And he thanks God. He says alhamdulillah. He says, all praise is due to Allah, like, right? And he's rewarded for it. And whenever something comes to harm him, like something harmful happens to him, something bad happens to him, he is patient and he is rewarded for that patience.
That's it. I take the same attitude.
Yeah, man.
That if something bad happened to me, I observe it, and I like, okay, let me deal with this. Some things you can't control. That you can't control, you don't spend too much time on it.
Yep.
Okay, that you can't control. You spend a little time of getting it out your system, but you got to go ahead and roll with it and pass it on. That is some of the advice that I give you, because it has an effect on your body. Negative has an effect on your body. You don't realize it, but it's in your head, and you'll carry that around all the time. So you got to be really, it's almost like you got to trick your mind and say, hey, it's okay. Because if I keep saying it's no good, it's no good. Now that's tearing me up. I'm getting high blood pressure. You know,
anxiety,
I'm angry,
stress.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm angry at everybody. You know what I mean? Have you ran across somebody? They don't like nothing, nobody. Nothing is good. You know, it's like, well, how come that? I mean, how you live like that?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You can't pick some good out of it. But there's a lot of folks walk around and you're no good, and nothing is good. You know.
In a mile, turn right.
It's hard when you live with people like that too, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I try to sidestep individuals like that. You know, I'll be around them, but I try to get away from them. Because
it's gonna affect you.
Yeah, right.
It rubs off.
Exactly. You hang around with a lot of negative people that they don't like this. You can't do this. I don't believe you can do this. I never tell a person they can't do something. You never want to tell a person you can't do something, because if you work hard, I might not be able to do it as good as you, but I'll be able to do it. So you tell everyone, hey, you know, you can do it.
There's a will, there's a way, my friend.
Yes,
That's what it is.
Right.
Oh man, this has been an awesome conversation.
وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ.
I mean,
Right? And who puts his trust and his hopes and aspirations in his Lord, he will suffice him.
Yes.
Right? Because we believe that all success actually comes from our Creator. Right?
Well, yes.
That we do the work. We have to do the work. But ultimately, that success of whatever you will want to do, like you said, if you want to do something, you can do it. But we got to put our trust in God, and then He makes the result happen.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Say, for instance, I want a job. I want a job. I can't wait till 10 o'clock in the morning and go look for a job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just ask for it and hope someone knocks on your door.
Yeah. Right. No.
Exactly.
You got to knock on the door, and you got to get up early. Okay. I don't say if you don't get it today, you go back tomorrow. But you get up early. If you get up early, I always say you got the whole day ahead of you. You get up late, you only got 4 or 5 hours.
That's true.
yep.
The day is gone. You say, oh, I didn't get nothing accomplished. Well, you didn't get up on time. You didn't get up early. And that's a problem, I think, with a lot of individuals that say they can't do anything. They don't spend enough time trying to do it.
They'll spend more time making up excuses than actually trying to do it.
Exactly. You know, so.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. Like I said, being visually impaired and blind, it's a constant having to prove myself.
Right.
And I've kind of got a chip on my shoulder because of that.
Yeah.
It makes you feel a kind of way. So even right now, like where you're saying, you have to keep that positive view. It's very hard, right? It's very hard, especially when the deck is stacked against you.
Oh, yes.
Very difficult. But at the end of the day, just like my man Brandon said here, we all know it comes from the Creator. We all know everything is happening for a reason. And being patient is part of life, and if I get rewarded for that patience, we take that.
I always say the Creator, because why you had to catch a lift with a guy that has some type of experience that what you guys are doing. I mean, the Creator put us together.
Absolutely.
We didn't just get together. It just didn't fall out of the ceiling.
Yep.
The Creator said, hey, they'll let you catch a car that guy has some similar things to what you do.
And have a great conversation for a good half hour, right?
Right. Because I believe everything happens like you said, from the Creator.
Yes.
You just wake up in the morning, don't know what you're gonna do. You might have in mind what you're gonna do, but He might change it. He might say, "No, you're gonna leave at 9." You say, "Oh, we're gonna leave at 9." And He said, "No."
That brings me to another verse. We got.
Exactly.
They plan,
Yeah.
but God plans, and God's the best of planners.
That's right. It's the best.
Right.
Yep.
The best of planners. And so
Yeah.
we do our part. So are we almost there?
Yeah, we got three blocks.
3 blocks.
Three
This is
blocks.
I like the bricks and stuff they got downtown here.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
Like a
But
cobblestone.
yeah. But you know, you're not. You're not downtown.
Oh,
You're
so
on the
not
north
downtown.
side.
North side, okay.
Yeah, you're just in Chicago. You're on the north side.
Yeah, downtown's probably gonna have like taller buildings. The Sears.
Oh,
Tower.
yeah.
What's this? Did they change the Sears Tower's name?
called the
This is
Willis Tower.
Right. It's called the Willis Tower now.
I just learned that last night.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do they still have tours like going up to the top?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we may have to do that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Adding new lift right.
We may have to do that.
Yeah.
Larry, you want to wrap this one up on the video, bro?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
So if you got my, you got YouTube and stuff on there, right? On your phone. Okay. Well, we've got that, and I've got a website, the Muslim Cowboy. That's probably you can remember that, right?
Yeah.
Just go to themuslimcowboy.com, and I don't know if you've ever got one before, but I give away free Qur'ans on my website, completely free. We ship it to you all completely free. So
what?
free, like without charging, free.
Yeah, no, I know, but what
Quran.
Like
The
Quran?
Quran.
Oh,
The-
okay.
yeah, so if you want to get one, you can go to my website, themuslimcowboy.com. I don't know if you want to write it down.
No, I can remember that.
And
man, it's sharp.
we will
Yeah,
ship it to
something
you
have, eh?
anywhere in the United States. You just put your information on there because, I like to share with people and just educate.
Right,
And we convey the message, right? At the end of the day, everybody, la ikraha fi din.
You know what happens whenever we understand where we're coming from, exactly where we're coming from, we build a better society.
Oh, we do.
Right?
We do. See, that's what has happened in America, is that they never wanted to include everybody. So they want to just make it like, hey, this is white America, so we control everything, and we want everything, and you don't have nothing, and don't want to pay you, want you work you for nothing, and so we can have it all.
Yeah.
And that's why America is falling behind in this world.
They go from one extreme to the next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go from white America to now white people, you're all evil.
Yeah, right.
And it's a mix.
And everyone else has an excuse.
Yeah, people have good and people have bad.
Right,
You've
right.
got to find that balance and be able to
Right.
tolerate each other and to
That's 49 even.
Okay, yeah.
49 even.
There's supposed to be an academy right around. You,
49.
I got it.
4909, I think it was, or something like that. Let me see here. I'm gonna double check.
11:06 a.m. 3 notifications.
What did I send to Nada? It is
Training, personal training.
4900 North Lincoln.
4900, yeah.
Yeah, North Lincoln.
We're just past 50 minutes ago. So we're
4925 is right there, Gateway to Learning. Well, you're gonna be looking for a like a jiu-jitsu martial arts center
Okay.
and an academy, right?
Okay.
It's all in the same building.
Okay. 49. We're going to 4925. So we're going down because it goes up.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So maybe we should just get out and go.
No. Let's get on down. We're 25. We gotta go down to the corner. Unless you just want to get out now.
No,
I'm
good.
Every minute with you is a
We're not gonna
beautiful,
just
wonderful
jump
opportunity.
out, baby.
All right, so we got
4917.
Oh, we're going down.
Okay,
yeah, we are
the
going down.
Kitty Academy.
Self-defense, Reykjavik, this is it right here, Reykjavik Jiu-Jitsu.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. I'm gonna shake your hand.
Yeah.
I'll pound it.
What you got?
Thank you, sir.
TheMuslimCowboy.com. Don't you forget.
Okay, got you.
All right.
Take care, brother.
Hey, y'all be come out this way, Natty.